Hello friends and welcome to this channel. In this video, we are going to learn using text to columns functionality in MS Excel. It might happen that once in a while, you will come across with data extracted out of databases in a .csv text format, which is very difficult to understand if you look at it as it is. In order to simplify it, you can use text to columns functionality to split it into different columns or cells. It can also be used to split multiple data in a single cell into multiple cells. There are two ways of splitting the data. One, by using delimiter, where you can split on the basis of a character, or fixed width, where you can select manually how you want to split it. Text to column is also used to convert data types, such as from numeric to text or vice versa. Now let's quickly jump over in Excel and see how text to column works. But before we do that, request you to please subscribe our channel if you have not done that yet, so that you do not miss out any other videos, and give us a thumbs up if you like this video. So without wasting any more time, let's hop onto an Excel sheet. For this exercise, I have built in like 6 sample sheets which we'll try to convert them into data sets with the help of text to columns. So for the first sample, you can see that I've got a list of person's name, their address. So you can see the first example like John, Doe, 120 Jefferson Street, Riverside. Yeah. Now, if you find yourself in a position where you've got a very big .csv text file and you want to convert that into a proper data set in Excel, text to column will be very handy. And what text to column will do is that it will convert this one row or one cell data into the number of rows it will require to create the data set. Now, one thing you need to make sure that once while you're doing this, ensure that all the columns in front of that are blank, because what it will do is that either it will not it will throw up an error that it can't convert them into data set because it has been obstructed, or it will simply overwrite that data. So either of the two can happen. So make sure that whenever you're converting your text to data sets, all the columns are or cells are blank. So let's quickly convert this data set into columns. So what we need to do, we'll select the whole column A, we'll click text to columns, and this window will pop up which says convert text to columns wizard. So there are two options given, one is delimited and one is fixed width. So for this exercise we will be using delimited, where we can choose a particular character which we want the Excel to use as a key when it will be differentiating or distributing the data into different cells or columns. So I've selected delimited, I've selected the whole range. Now let's click next. So over here you can see that what is the delimiter that you want. So for us, we know that after every field there is a comma. So I want that after every comma there will be the data will shift or get populated in a different column. So let's select comma. So now you can see as soon as I selected that, the below field is showing a preview of how it will look like, and you can see that quickly it has identified that comma, and now it is showing how it will look like in different columns. So I think this is looking pretty much nice and as per my expectation, because it has separated out the first name, last name, address, area, pin codes. So now I can go ahead and click next, and I'll keep it as general and then click finish. So now you can see that where you had just one set of one column with all those staggered data coming over there, now it's a neat and clean data that you can see over here. Now you can just insert a row above and give it some column headings. Yeah, so now you've got a neat and tidy data set. So let's quickly look at the sample 2. Over here also you can see that I've got the headings over there where I've given name, sex, age, height and weight, and below that are all my data sets, and all of them are differentiated with the column. So let's quickly convert this into a data table as well. So I'll select the first column, I'll click text to columns, then we'll go with delimited because that's the easiest way to do. We'll click next, we'll select comma, and again you can see the preview of that, and click next again and click finish. So now you can see that it has now converted that one single column into 5 different columns, and it is looking much more clearer now than it was looking before. In sample 3, you can see that it is also somewhat similar, but instead of a comma, I've used this line to demarcate my data. So you can use any random symbol to to differentiate the data and distribute them across the columns. So for that, again I'll click the whole column, I'll click the text to columns, we'll go to delimited, we'll click next. Now see, here we don't have the comma, so I can deselect comma, but I've got a field called other. Now here I can mention according to which symbol or which character you want Excel to demarcate the data and insert the columns. So over here I'll put in that line which is like shift and backslash. So once you do that, it will identify them and then it will give a preview of how it will look like. And let's click next and finish, and so you can see that it has now converted that one column data into different column, and it has converted into a proper table. Nice and easy. So let's look at some other way where what you can do that. You can also use spaces to demarcate the data and convert it into a table. So again we'll click this column, we'll click text to columns, again we'll go to delimited, let's click next. Over here now I don't want other but I want space, so it has converted those spaces as columns, right? And now we'll click next, we'll do finish, and you can see it has now converted that. So this is also a problem of, or sometimes it happens depending upon how your data is coming. So you can see it kind of didn't put the columns accordingly, headings properly, but I think this is still a very good way of doing, way that it has segregated the data for the whole data set. You can just cut that and shift it over here, and see again you have a nice and tidy table. So this is, you can use the easiest way where you can use a symbol or even spaces to convert that one row data, one column data into a proper table. But there can be instances where you don't want to go that route. You want yourself that you want to segregate that data out. So for that you can use another function built into the text to columns, that is called fixed width. So in fixed width you can select how you want to divide this data. So let's click fixed width over here and click next. So now you can see that it has already by default identified how you can segregate the data, and it has done that for you. But if you want to do it yourself, you can move around these by holding and moving these placeholders, how you want to do, or you can double click them to remove them, and you can also click a single click and insert them. And so the flexibility will be with you as to how and where you want to divide this whole data. So once you are happy with what you have done, you can click next, and again let's click finish, and it will convert that one column or one row dataset into a proper table. So now these are the two ways of using the text to column and converting those .csv text data into a proper Excel table. But that is not the only thing that is limited to text to columns. You can use text to column for another purpose, which is also, in my experience, it has been used a lot of times whenever we are doing data analysis using VLOOKUP or HLOOKUPs or any lookup formulas to bring in data fields. It's that, say if you've got a column with numerical numbers, so it happens that whenever you will be using a lookup formula to bring a certain use it as a criteria, the data set from where you're fetching the data, the format of that might be different. So say here you have got it in a number format, but over in the data set, in the actual data set, it is in a textual format. So your lookup formula will not work and it will throw up errors. So what can you do? You can change the format of the text of the lookup criteria from a number to text and vice versa. So one method is by clicking the individual cell, go to home, and you can select text over here, and by that doing that you can do. But then say if your data set is quite long, how many times will you do that? The simplest way of that is doing a text to column again. So let's select this whole column, we'll click text to columns. Now we'll keep it selected delimited, click next. I don't want to do anything, so we'll keep that as it is. Let's click next again. Now over here where it says that this screen lets you select each column and set the data format, so you can change the format over here. So this is either general or numeric. So I want to convert it into text, so you can click text and click finish. So once you have converted this numeric data into text, you will see that these green icons coming over here, and once you click that cell, this warning message will come that these are all numbers which are stored as text. So there's a use of this as well, that if you don't want to keep it as text and you want to convert it back to number, so one is that either you can select the whole range over here, select this warning and click convert to number, it will convert everything in that range to a number, or you can again use the text to column and convert it back to a number. So how you can do that? Just select that range again, click text to column, select delimited, click next. We don't have to change anything over here, click next again, and now we'll select general. So earlier we converted this from number to text, so we selected text. Now we are converting it back into a general or numeric, so we'll select general and we'll click finish. So now you can see that all those warning signs have gone and this has been converted into a number. So these are the various uses of text to columns, and it will help you convert your CSV files into proper Excel tables, and also you can change the format of your data as you need. So this comes very handy whenever you're doing large data crunches or analyzing the data. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have learned something new today, and this important tool will come handy in your day-to-day life. So you can give it a try in your Excel sheets and let me know how it goes with you. So thank you once again, and do subscribe us so that you do not miss out any other videos, and give us a thumbs up if you have liked this video. So thank you once again and see you soon in next video. Bye.